everybody, it's Michelle, and I'm reading Hocus Pocus Hotel, The Prisoners of the 13th Floor. And once again, today is St. Patrick's Day, and I hope everybody has a lovely St. Patrick's Day. Alright, now, so we read chapter 1 last time, and I'm going to read chapter 2, obviously. The 13th Floor, True Deep Darkness. As you remember, in the end of chapter 1, they were looking for the pattern of a lily on the wall, and the pattern on the wall of the 14th floor did not match in a certain spot, and it said in something that Charlie had seen or read to turn the lily, and they did, or his new friend Cosette did, and when she did, everybody fell down, I guess, to the 13th floor, but let's find out. True deep darkness. Charlie felt his heart pumping fast and faster. He started breathing harder. Then he heard something. Beep, beep. Ty, is that you? He called. Yeah, it's my stupid beeper, came Tyler's familiar voice. It's gone off about 1,000,000 times. If my parents had given me a phone, then maybe I could have called them and gotten out of this hole. But no, I'm not responsible enough, even though I do all the work around here. The darkness in front of Charlie's eyes appeared to swirl. A shadow separated them from the others. A silhouette. You've been on the 13th floor this whole time? Asked Charlie. Yeah, and I'm not the only one, Brainiac. Brack's here too. But I think he's hurt. You think? You don't know? Well, I can't see him, said Tyler. Charlie's heart began beating harder again. There's no lights in here, he said. Well, there aren't any windows on this floor, but there's a few lights. But that's not the problem. He's locked behind a door and neither of us can open it, so I've been looking for a way out for hours. Light burst above them. Charlie could see that he and Tyler were sitting in a hall that resembled the others in the hotel. The secret rectangular door had reopened overhead and slanted toward them. Annie and Cosette ran down the carpeted ramp. Tyler! Exclaimed Annie. I'm so glad you're all right. Yeah, said Ty. Now we can get out of here. But as soon as the two girls stepped off the ramp, it sprang quickly back into place and out of reach. Don't worry, said Charlie. I think I know how we can get out of here. You do? Said Tyler. Then why did you take so long? I've been starving. I waited so long because I just figured it out, answered Charlie. We just figured it out, said Cosette. I was the one who turned that weirdo lily thing on the wall. We need to get Brack, said Tyler. I've got a phone, said Cosette. She turned it on, and its pale blue light helped guide them through the hallway. Tyler Yu looked the way he always did. Spiky black hair, jeans, boots, and a scowl on his face. He stopped before a door. We have a slight problem, he said. Now what? Asked Annie. And here is Tyler and the other kids. Annie, Charlie, Cosette, and Tyler. He is kind of cute. I can see why Annie would like him. It's locked, Tyler said. Brack's inside. I have a pass key, Charlie said. He pulled the key card out of his pocket. Charlie heard a low moan from the other side of the door. Brack, he called, it's us. Cosette's phone light made it bright enough to see the door. Charlie looked up at the door and then stopped. Where's the slot for the pass key? The old wooden door had a traditional lock and keyhole. These old doors don't have the new electronic system, said Annie. We need an old-school key, metal key. And that's probably been missing for 50 years, said Charlie, groaning. Now that you mention it, said Annie, there are some old keys hanging behind the desk. You mean these? Asked Cosette. She held out a small ring of dark metal keys. How did you... Annie started. I figured if we were going into the old part of the Hocus Pocus, we might need them, said Cosette. You're smarter than you look, said Tyler. Stand aside, said Cosette. She tried a few of the keys in the lock, and finally there was a click. The door opened, and in the phone's blue light, they saw a closet door just inside. Brack, called Tyler. A groan came from within the closet. Ty twisted a deadbolt knob on the door and opened it. The four companions saw an old man on the floor inside, his thin back against the wall, his wrinkled face stretched in a grimace of pain. That was Chapter 2. Chapter 3. The 12. "Master Hitchcock," said the man in a tired, raspy voice. I guess that didn't sound like a tired, raspy voice. "And Master you, and Miss Solo." "How are you, Brack?" asked Charlie. "Body and soul still together, young man," said Brack, pushing himself into a better position. "And this charming young woman must be Miss Bailey." Cosette stared. "You know who I am?" she said. "I've only worked here a few weeks." "We need to get you out of here," said Tyler. "Carefully," said Brack. "I think I may have sprained my ankle." "Who did this to you?" said Charlie. "I have an idea," said Brack. "But I don't have any evidence, of course. It was dark when I woke up here. The last thing I remember was sitting in my house." "With Theophilus," said Charlie. Brack blinked, surprised. "Why, yes. At least that's who he turned out to be. He was wearing a disguise." "A red beard," said Annie. "Somebody better explain what's going on," said Tyler, "and I mean now." "First things first," said Brack. He lifted a shaking hand and pointed. "I believe there's a men's room in that direction." I could hear the pipes through the wall. Tyler gently hoisted Brack to his feet and hunkered under one of the older man's shoulders. Charlie and Annie supported him on the other side. Cosette raised her phone and a door loomed out of the darkness. While Ty helped Brack walk inside, the other three turned and gasped. A hand reached out toward them. Icy white fingers. Annie screamed. Charlie couldn't speak. Ty stepped out of the bathroom, closing the door behind him. "What's going on?" he asked. Cosette pointed. The clutching white fingers hadn't moved. They could see the hand was attached to a bare white arm that had led to a naked shoulder. I can't read today. "Look out!" said Ty. As Cosette's light traveled up the mysterious white shape, Ty saw another figure close behind. Neither of the white shadows moved. "Who are you?" Tyler demanded. The four companions jumped as something moved behind them. It was Brack, who had opened the bathroom door and was grasping the side of the doorway for balance. "I'm afraid he can't hear you," he said. "None of them can." Cosette lifted her light. They saw more and more figures crowded in front of them. All pale, all frozen in place, all silent. "Statues," said Charlie. Brack nodded. "They are the great secret of the 13th floor," he said. "A secret I thought was a rumor until I saw them just now with my own eyes." "Who are they?" asked Tyler. "The 12, said Brack. Charlie looked closer at the blurry, bluish shapes in the cell phone's gleam. One of them brandished a sword. Another held a spear with 3 sharp prongs. A female figure wore an old-fashioned helmet and carried a shield. "I've seen them before," thought Charlie. He had a memory that held on to images like a computer hard drive. Acute visual memory, his teachers called it. Other people might call it a photographic memory. Once Charlie saw a picture or a movie or a show, he never forgot it. For example, the photo he had seen in an old book at the library of some statues. The same statues he'd seen on a show on the History Channel. "The 12 Olympians," he said. And here's Brack, Ty, Annie, Cosette, and Charlie with the 12 statues. Kind of creepy, and I'm sure you probably can't see it. But there. All right. "You mean like athletes?" asked Annie. Tyler rolled his eyes. "Like the Greek gods," he said. "Clash of the Titans, the Immortals, Percy Jackson." "You read?" said Cosette in a quiet voice. Tyler ignored her. "That must be Ares," he said, pointing at the statue of the sword. "And Poseidon and Athena," said Charlie. He saw a statue of a beautiful woman with long hair holding a stone apple in her cold marble hand. "That one is Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty." "Yes," said Tyler. "Some dudes gave her that apple because she was the prettiest." "The 12, said Brack. "These statues were a gift to the hotel many, many years ago. They were the handiwork of a famous Spanish sculptor named Ernesto Andriago." "One guy made them?" asked Cosette. "One very talented guy. Yes," said Brack. "He sent them to the hotel as a gift. He came from a long line of magicians. He was the only sculptor and a disappointment to his father. But these magnificent statues were delivered here and then forgotten. I knew they had been sent, but never saw them. It was a very busy time. Delivery men must have put them on the 13th floor by mistake. Wow, said Annie. So we're like the first people to see them since Ernesto? Where were they supposed to go? Asked Charlie. Indriago designed them to be installed on the roof, said Brack. The 12 gods of Greek mythology gazing down on humans from on high, just as they once did from Mount Olympus. Awesome, said Tyler. Awesome indeed, but it wasn't a good idea, said Brack. They're far too valuable to be exposed to the elements. How valuable, said Charlie. Indriago was killed in the Second World War, Brack said. These are the last, and the greatest, works from his hand. They must be priceless. Charlie wondered how much a single statue would cost. $1 million? $100 million? That would pay for the hotel 1,000 times over. Brack would be able to pay for the whole thing, and Theophilus would be out of his life forever. Charlie was too busy thinking about dollar signs to notice the shadowy figure moving beyond the circle of light cast from Cosette's phone. It moved from the statue of Apollo to Hermes and then hid behind Hades, the lord of the dead. Then it smiled. And that was chapter 3. So next we'll read chapter 4, The Old Magic Returns. Bye.